morning. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning. I'm Agam Vakil, and here are the top headlines. Indian equity indices continue to advance, and Nifty moves back above 10,300. And open interest in Arvind and Hexaware increases as traders take fresh positions in their respective futures. And Bharti Airtel is the top Nifty gainer today after brokerage houses say that Africa's business is in better shape now. And banks may send loans worth close to 1.8 lakh crores to the NCLT as little progress has been made on resolving the stress in 29 accounts mentioned on RBI's second list. That's a Bloomberg exclusive.
Okay, let's take a look as to what's happening in the futures and options market, and it's been a positive start to this new week. In fact, the markets are up for the third straight session. Both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty has seen substantial gains in the opening session today, and not only that, even the broader markets are doing pretty well. The market breadth has been positive today. It's about 3:1 on National Stock Exchange. As you can see, Nifty trades above the 10,300 mark, but mind you, the premium on the December futures has declined to almost 16 points now. But the only worrying sign in today's session has been the India Volatility Index. If you could just pull up that, at one point of time, it also crossed the mark of 14. Remember, markets are trading positive. Usually, you'll see India VIX trading. It has that inverse relationship with the market. But today, the VIX has also seen some positive tick. And so far, 45 minutes of trade, you've seen that hovering around the mark of between 13.9 to about 14 levels. Let's look at a couple of the option strikes then. The 10,300 call strike today has seen a bit of unwinding, but you're seeing put writing coming for 10,200 and the 300 put strikes. The 10,400 call strike so far has seen addition of over 3 lakh shares. But so far, everything's looking fine as Nifty trades above all its key moving averages, and the Bank Nifty is also hovering around its 20-day moving average. Bank Nifty currently about 25,430, and the 20-day moving average stands somewhere about 25,466. So that's going to be a key level to be watched in the upside. And also the premium in Bank Nifty futures has contracted a bit. What are the FIs doing then? If you look at the internals from the Friday's trade, they clearly added more of short positions in the index futures, but some comforting sign when it comes to the options data as they unwound their call short position. Significant addition of contracts was seen on the call long side.
Right, Navneet, and I'm also looking at a lot of activity in the likes of Hexaware Technologies where some reports suggest that there could be a stake sale coming in the offing. But that said, of course, we also have Arvind in the list, OFSS as well. So let's take a look at that list. There you have it. Arvind looking at near 15% increase, fresh longs there clearly. And it's the same for Oracle Financial Services. Hexaware, as I mentioned earlier, the stock itself hasn't really moved too much, but there is an accumulation of open interest. It's followed by PC Jeweler, fresh longs there, and fresh longs for Walkhart as well. Let's also take a look at some stocks which are looking at unwinding in today's day of trade. Not too much to speak for. IFCI, Hindustan Zinc, Petronet LNG, JP Associates and JSW Energy all losing out less than 1% in today's day of trade, which means that I'll be watching out for Arvind or whether or not there is a little bit of unwinding in the latter half of the session.
Okay, so watch out for Arvind, and clearly it is a couple of the heavy weights from the likes of State Bank of India and IDC which are supporting the markets today. Okay, then before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. You can also write to us on our social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook with #AskSpeakU hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts for the day then. Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal Securities and Hemant Thukral of Aditya Birla Money joins us on the show now. Good morning to both of you gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today on Bloomberg Quint Live. Hemant, let me come to you first. It's been a good recovery that one has seen in the last 3 trading session. Good opening coming about, but does it worry you? The India VIX has been trading in the positive. It's cooled off from day's high, but still it's hovering around the mark of 14.
Good morning. I think few data points that you and Agam share are coming very encouraging. First, the put writer base is now shifting to 10,200, which is always an encouraging sign that you have a base which is shifting up. Remember, Gujarat elections is now the event is now just beyond 5-6 days, so I am expecting VIX to move up. But as we have been tracking it very carefully till it doesn't crosses 14.5, I'm still okay. So it's hovering around 13.92, which is much lower than the highs that it touched in this month. So I think this is more to do with the event based. Now as event comes closer, I think you will see VIX moving up. But for me, very important point is the way Nifty is forming a stronger bottom. And remember, now you can't term it as pullback, because usually technical rallies which are pullback rallies are around 50% of the fall, which we have already covered, and now we are mounting up on the gain. So clearly this is more than pullback that we can expect from. Yes, a small profit taking should come around from 10,400. So I'm looking at a target of 10,400 first, and I think then we may see a profit taking coming in or consolidation happening. I don't see Nifty crossing 10,400 without Gujarat election helping Nifty to do so.
Okay, so Hemant's watching out for 10,400, but Chandan, good morning to you as well. How are you viewing trade on the benchmark indices? I reckon you are also positive.
Yeah, good morning, Agam. Market is seeing the strong support near to 10,033 and negated its formation of lower highs, lower lows. It has seen some buying interest in last 2 to 3 trading session, and that is also because of the help of short covering as well as the build up of long position. It surpassed the retracement level of 50 and 61.8% because market fell down from 10,409 to 10,033, and exact 61.8% retracement comes near to 10,265, and yesterday it closed at 10,265 and today it is holding above the same. So that makes me be positive on the market to at least test the recent swing high of 10,409 kind of level. So as of now, till it holds about 10,250, 10,265, I'll suggest to buy with that stop loss for an upward towards 10,400 levels.
Okay, let's shift focus and talk about the options corner. Let's check with our experts what sort of option strategies that they are advising our viewers in today's trade. Hemant, over to you. You have a buy call on Nifty 10,400 call strike.
Yes, because on Friday we recommended 10,300, which I think has achieved the target. Now we are moving to 10,400 call, because as I said, I'm expecting 10,400 to come first. So we should buy this call around 83, 84, keep a stop loss of 52. So if it violates 10,250, 260 for me, then the stop loss will trigger. On the higher side, targets 135, 136. Even if Nifty goes till 10,380, 370 and not touch exactly 10,400, this level will be achieved. I think if we want to remain with a bullish sentiment, it's a good risk reward ratio to buy 10,400 call right now.
All right. Well, Chandan, you did speak about buying the futures. Do you have any options play that we can play as far as your benchmarks go?
Yes, I have call ladder spread in the Bank Nifty spread, in that we are recommending to buy 25,300 call, sell one lot of 25,500 and sell one lot of 25,700, and we are doing it for the weekly expiry, as we understand that market is likely to hold, especially the Bank Nifty is likely to hold about 25,100, 200 and may head towards 25,500 to 700 zone. So overall positive bias with upside is being kept because of the call writing activity, and similar kind of strategy can be used in the Nifty index as well, as we are expecting it to hold 10,250 and it can head towards 10,400 zone.
Okay, so those are a couple of the option strategies being advised by our experts, and the view it's a consensus view that both our experts have a bullish view when it comes to Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. Let's also look at a couple of stock futures then, which are buzzing in today's trade. I want to highlight Granules India. That's gained as much as 5% so far. If you could just pull up the futures of Granules India, I don't think there is much of an activity seen when it comes to the addition on the open interest side. It's only up about 1%, but the underlying has seen substantial gains of almost 4.5%. Hemant, on the charts, does it signal any sort of fresh breakout on the upside for Granules India?
See, I think pharma today is doing fairly well. That's the first thing I would like to add, because I can see stocks like Lupin or Bindo Pharma also seeing some buying coming in. Coming back to Granules specifically, I think the stock itself has done fairly well, because the stock has now managed to cross 125. It's sustaining above it, and I think now the stock should be heading towards 139, 140. So I think open interest is adding, because the stock has already given a small technical breakout. So I would, if anybody is going ahead and buying it right away also, I would keep a stop loss of 126 and a target of 140 I expect in it.
Okay, moving on from granules to yet another stock which is doing very well in today's day of trade, that's Arvind. And Arvind has not only gained around 4%, it's also one of the top gainers when it comes to the open interest increase, up as much as nearly 15%. There you have it. Chandan, do you view a trade on Arvind right now, considering there is a little bit of momentum? Would you play it on the upside?
Yeah, I'm expecting the fresh leg of rally in Arvind, which may take it to 465, 470 zone. And in fact, today it has seen the strong up move and open interest headed by more than 15 to 70%. Clearly indicates that fresh longs are heading into the counter, which may drive the next leg of rally. However, on positional basis, the stock can even head towards 500 plus. But on immediate basis, I'll suggest to buy with a stop loss of 437, and it has potential to head towards 465 to 470 zone.
Right. Well, before we get to our viewer queries, just want to get advice on these heavyweight stocks which have been contributing to the gains. Hemant, ITC, that counter was up 3.5% on Friday, and today also we've seen good gains. And if I look at ITC on year-to-date basis, it's not done too much. Do you think it's bottomed out around those levels of 250, and from here on one can see a good upside?
See, first of all, I think the answer to bottom out, yes, because stock has seen, I don't know how many times it has tested that 251, 252 zones and then rebounded back. So I have a feeling that yes, now that's a very strong bottom to be breached. Only thing is that I continuously see call writers still standing at 270, 280, 290. I would love ITC to cross 270, at least ensure that one call writer is unwinding the positions, and I think then we can see a big rally towards 282. So right now, because it's already quoting at 267, I would be watching 270 very, very carefully and how the call writers behave once that stock reaches that level. And if it goes beyond 270, I'm very sure of 283 coming in.
All right, that's the view on ITC, but let's move in and take our queries then. And the first one is a caller. This one is Naveen calling from New Delhi. Hi Naveen, can you hear us? What would you like to know from our experts?
Hi, my query was on Ajanta Pharma, and my query was the fact that since the stock has run up quite a bit, actually around 13% in the last 3 sessions, so I wanted to know whether the stock has run its course, or can I take fresh long positions at current levels?
Chandan, if I can come to you on Ajanta Pharma, can we also pull up what Ajanta Pharma futures are doing right now? Well, we will see it. There you have it. It's currently trading at 1452. The underlying for now not doing too much, but the open interest has increased by as much as 3.6%. Chandan, your view on Ajanta Pharma, can Naveen take fresh longs from these levels?
Ajanta Pharma looks quite strong as it has bottomed out recently in last 2 to 3 weeks back. It has surpassed its falling supply trend line, or in fact the up move came after testing the previous consolidation breakout that was near to 1255, 1270 zone. Already it has rallied by 200 points from those levels, so I'll suggest to buy on declines. If it comes near to 1400, 1420, then definitely he can look to add the position for an up move towards 1500 plus. Positional basis we are looking 8 to 10%, but let it go for some decline so that your risk reward ratio may favor for the new trade.
Okay, that's the view on Ajanta Pharma. The counter was up as much as 9% on Friday, and today it's just little muted so far, but still trading in the positive territory around the mark of 1,450. The futures have seen a build-up of almost 4%. Let's move on and take more queries. We've got our next caller. Vedahi Ruparel is calling us from Kolkata. Hi Vedahi, good morning to you. Thanks a lot for calling us today. Tell us what you want to know from our experts.
Yeah, hi. I have a long on Jet Airways at rupees 700, and the stock fell sharply on Friday post earnings announcement. So what should I do now?
Okay, but Vedahi, looks like you're having a good day at least, because I've seen the stock recovering. In fact, it's 692 on the spot and 694 on the future side for December. Hemant, do you think she's getting a good price to exit, or there can be upside from these levels considering the stock was weak in Friday's session?
Okay, I'll just give one, first of all, little history that we discussed this on Friday, and I was very categorically saying that because stock has already given a breakout above 650, I would hold. The stock still holds 650. I think I would continue to stay with my bullish stance. I don't see this stock falling too much, because see, once a stock has given breakout on weekly charts above 655, Now we saw even on bad results or bad news, it did not fall below 655. So I think the stock is holding good. It should move at least to 713, 712, and because she's bought at 700, she may get out in profits. Now, because I would actually keep a revised stop loss for her so that she should not lose too much money from here. So that stop loss would be 682. So she has to keep a 10 rupees stop loss, and I think another 20 rupees move she can get, so she can come out in profits from Jet Airways.
There you have it, Vaidhi. That's your view on Jet Airways. You can hold on to your positions. Watch out for levels of 713, and well, we'll be hoping that you do eventually turn into profit and make some money out of it. But we'll move on to Twitter queries then. And well, a query is from Amar, and he's long Balkrishna December futures at around 2,340, and he wants to know what he should do. Can we pull up Balkrishna December futures and see what they're doing? 2,300, almost 2,400. So, well, he's clearly making some amount of profits. At least in today's day of trade, there's very little change, but the open interest has increased once again. Chandan, what can Amar do with his position in Balkrishna Industries? Should he book out, or can he carry on with his position right now?
Looking at the Balkrishna, the stock has given a strong breakout about 2250 zone. However, we don't have coverage on the same, but on technical ground, the stock looks quite encouraging. It seems that it can continue its up move towards 2500, 2520. So he can continue to be with long position by putting a stop loss near to 2340 level.
Okay, that's the view on Balkrishna's. Stock is seeing a bit of profit booking today after surging as much of 6% on Friday. 5% uptick is what you're seeing in terms of open interest, but the futures have been trading at a discount of almost 15 to 17 rupees. Let's take some queries which have just come in on YouTube. Narendra Kurani has written to us. He's saying he's got Maruti 8800 call strike at 135 of December expiry, and he wants to know what should he do. And he's pretty much in the money, considering Maruti is trading above the mark of 9,000, and if I look at the 8800 call strike, the premium there is almost 356. Chandan, this is a stock which has been on a tear this year, giving good returns to his shareholders, but somebody who's been trading in Maruti on month-to-month basis, and in fact Narendra is pretty much in the money. Would you advise him to book his profits, or he should wait till the expiry and he can expect better premium till the expiry?
Yeah, Maruti is doing well, or in fact we have quite positive on the same. 3 days back we recommended to go long with 8800 call near to 110, and the stock and the option rallied by 4 times in just 2 days. Still expecting this momentum to continue, but my suggestion, better to exit in 8800 call and now shift to the 9100 or 9200 call, so that you can continue to ride on the long side, and at the same time you can shift your strike, and that will treat as a partial profit booking. So overall trend is positive. I'll suggest to exit in 8800 call, and I'll suggest to again enter in 9100 call if it comes near to 150, which is now trading near to 175 levels.
You have it, Narendra. You can exit your 8800 call and perhaps initiate a long position in the 9100 call for Maruti. But moving on to our next query, this one is on Twitter. This one comes from Amar Amarchand, and he says that he has bought the DLF 250 call at a premium of 6, and he wants to know the target and perhaps a stop loss on that. This particular call is currently trading at around 4.8 the last time I checked. So, well, Amar is making a little bit of a loss right now. But, Hemant, if I can come to you on this one, what can Amar do? How is DLF looking? Currently trading at around 4.8. He's bought it at around 6. What can Amar do with this position right now?
See, I would like him to hold. 2 reasons, because I still feel that DLF is in a bullish trajectory, and I would keep a very tight stop loss on DLF now of 235. Currently is trading at 239. So if it dips below 235, he should come out of his call, which would mean that he will lose at least another 1 to 1 rupee 30 paisa from where it is. Because if it holds 235, then I am expecting it to go at least till 244, which would at least make that he comes back in the money, or at least the loss will be recovered. So for me, the stop loss is 235 and a first target should be 244.
Okay, so stop loss on DLF, as Hemant is suggesting, should be around 235. Well, Narendra Kurani, who had written to us on YouTube, he had a query on Maruti. Besides that, he's also holding United Spirits 3500 call strike at a premium of about 60 rupees. He's asking, what should I do? And the premium, if I look at that strike, currently is about hovering around those marks of 70 or 71, and he's bought at about 60. Chandan, United Spirits is another counter from the liquor space which has been performing well post its Q2 earnings. Narendra is sitting on profits, but would you recommend him to book his profits, or he can probably hold on and see higher levels in the premium?
Yeah, McDowell is quite strong. In fact, we have seen built up of long position, and this momentum is intact. However, it has seen some consolidation in last 3 to 4 trading session at higher levels. But overall trend is intact until it holds above 3350 zone. The momentum could extend to 3500 to 3525 levels. So he can continue to be with this position, expecting the next leg of rally in the counter. Talking about the other stock, DLF, we don't have coverage, but recently it has given a strong breakout from its narrow range. So looking towards 250 kind of zone in the counter.
Okay, I want to just pull up one more counter, and that's Hexaware. Now, we do have news that we're likely to see some very large bulk deals in the offing. Now, the underlying itself really hasn't moved, done too much. It's marginally in the red for now, but the open interest certainly has surged by as much as 7.6%. The second point is that Hexaware has been extremely active over the past couple of weeks. It has moved up considerably. And based on that, Hemant, if I can take stock with you on Hexaware, what would you do with something like this? And if there are any possible positions even at this level?
See, I would go it like a Jet Airways, because for me the stock has given breakout around 320. So till this time it's managed to hold and rebound again from 320. So it's not going below the previous breakout levels. That's a very good sign for the stock. Yes, you have a news, and we are seeing some, I would say, some positions getting built up where people may be buying in spot and selling in futures, or maybe people are hedging themselves their existing holding by selling in futures. But I still feel if the stock doesn't dips below 320, the stock has the potential to retest 340, 343 zones. So I would still recommend to hold long. If you're already long, you can go long, but just keep a tight stop loss of 320.
Okay, so a tight stop loss of 320 on Hexaware is something which Hemant is suggesting, and probably the stock's been a little bit under pressure because the bulk deals which Agam was talking about could happen at a discount to current market price. So, but we still don't have any details. Watch out for that counter. Just pull up the intraday chart of Century Textiles. That's just seen good buying momentum coming about, and that's the 1 month chart. If you can just pull up the intraday chart of Century Textile, there you go. It's almost trading at day's high, up almost 4%. Chandan, at current levels, would you advise anyone to take fresh long positions on Century Textiles?
Comparatively, we have more bullish view on the Arvind because the stock rallied with built up of long position. However, Century also rallied by 4%, but open interest addition is only 3%. We have seen some short covering as well. So overall, expecting more momentum and the strength in the Arvind. But those who are interested to look at the Century can trade by putting stop loss near to 1350, and it seems that it can also continuous up move towards 1410 kind of level.
All right, so that's the view on Arvind, but let's move in and also take a look at what our experts have for our viewers themselves. So Chandan, I'm going to come back to you. You have a bunch of long calls as far as some of those stock futures go today.
Yes, first trade is buy on IndusInd Bank. This stock has given the breakout from a symmetrical triangle pattern. It has seen consolidation of last couple of trading session, and the consolidation breakout is adding the fresh momentum to its new trend. It has been holding above its 50-day exponential moving average. It is a low beta counter, so comparative risk is very less, and expecting an upward towards 1742 kind of level. So one can buy with a stop loss of 1635. Already we have seen the momentum today, and longs are adding by 3 to 4%. So it looks quite strong on immediate basis. Second trade we are recommending is buy on PC Jewelers. We are quite positive on the counter from last 3 to 4 weeks, near to 355, 340 zone. Still expecting the fresh leg of rally because it has recently given the breakout above 415 levels. Overall, it has seen the 15 to 20% long addition, and today also it added open interest near to 7 to 8%. So expecting the move to continue towards 450, 455, one can buy on a small dip with a stop loss of 418 levels. And the last trade I am taking from oil marketing companies. I am expecting the bottom out process in most of the oil marketing companies, and IOC I'll prefer to be with the long side. One can buy with a stop loss of 395, and this stock has potential to move towards 425 in next couple of trading sessions.
Chandan, are you also tracking the Bitcoin futures which made a debut on CBOE today?
I cannot comment on the same. We don't have coverage, and no comment on the personal position.
Okay. Hemant, what about you? What are your top trading ideas for today?
See, first I have gone long on Tata Steel. I think the stock now is really forming a very strong bottom around that 685, 690 zones, and I have been continuously, in fact, with your discussions also, I have been saying that this is one of the stocks among the metal which I feel very safe to go long. So now I would keep a stop loss of 695 and a target of 724. I am seeing that now the put writers are adding up to 690 also, so that forms major part of my study that Tata Steel is looking good. The second stock that I have selected is Axis Bank, another stock which I really feel is going to do good among the banks. It can be an outperformer. Open interest I have seen added up already. The stop loss we have kept is around 548 and a target of 565. So Axis Bank and Tata Steel are good two buys, which I feel they can give good returns in coming 2 to 3 trading sessions.
We'll be watching out for Axis Bank and Tata Steel, but we've run out of time. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. I'd like to thank both our experts, Hemant and Chandan, for joining us and taking us through their strategies, as well as helping some of our viewers out as well. Stay tuned into Bloomberg Quint. There's lots more lined up.